Alright guys, how's it going? Right off the bat, you're looking at some things right now. This is a thrift store where I found this little number, and this is going to be the victim for today's thrift store makeover. Okay, that's it. And the reason this caught my eye actually is because I had this jewelry box when I was like 8. It is quite worn and dirty, very dirty. Definitely got some use, possibly as a plate. The actual design of the jewelry box, I have to say, is kind of cute, although Noodle Arms over here looks a little sad.
What's wrong?
The past owner did take decorating into their own hands with some SpongeBob playing card stickers, which is great. But you know what? It's what's on the inside that counts. We've got some hair, dirt, dust, my face. Ew. And everything is lined with this very discolored velvet liner. So yet the inside isn't much better. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull out the drawers and remove the handles, which are just little pegs so you can just pull them straight out real easily.
I used to pull the handles out of my jewelry box all the time.
That's a great story. And oh! Who is that hiding behind all the drawers? It's a fortune from a fortune cookie. Now, inside the main part, we have this little octopus situation. Obviously, you're supposed to hang jewelry on it, but I'm probably not going to use this thing to store my jewelry, so I just want to get rid of it. So here I am with my little tool set, so official. Tools are my thing, you know, I'm very handy, I fix things all the time, I know exactly what I'm doing here. So it seems that the octopus is not going to let us through there, so I just had to rip that off. And now I can get in there and remove this little doohickey. Good. Now it's time to ditch this nasty lining. So I just reached in there and yanked it out. I do want to keep the pieces intact as much as possible because they'll come in handy later. But for now, just evacuate everyone out. I want to get rid of the lining in the drawers as well, but that was a little bit more challenging because those were really stuck in there. Why am I using a popsicle stick? I don't know. That obviously doesn't work. So I ended up using a box cutter and sliding it down in there just to kind of like cut through the glue, and that worked okay. I mean, there's still a lot of crap stuck down in there, but that's alright. Let's carry on. This one was just painful because of those little poofy things, which are to hold rings, obviously, but I don't care about that. I'm ripping it all out. I found a rhinestone. The surprises, man, just keep on coming. So now that the 3 drawers are completely gutted, I'm gonna get out my Darth Vader mask. And with some super coarse sandpaper, I'm basically just going to use that to scrub out the insides. I'm not going to take the time to get rid of every last bit of everything because I'm going to go over this later anyway, but just, you know, good enough is good enough. So back to the box, I'm going to need to get rid of this sticker. This particular thrift store, they just love putting the stickiest of the sticky stickers. And you know what? It's been fun, but I'm also going to say goodbye to Patrick and Mr. Krabs, and yes, I did that. Who would have thought using a razor blade on a wooden surface was a bad idea? Now I'm taking some very fine sandpaper and just roughing up the surface a little bit, and this is just to remove any little bumps, get rid of the peanut butter smudges, and, you know, just get a nice even surface going. That definitely didn't take care of the sticker spooge though, so I had to get my Goo Gone and use that to remove all of that leftover residue from all of the stickers that were stuck on this thing. And now,
finally,
we have an empty, clean jewelry box skeleton. So now I'm gonna mix up some blue acrylic paint, and this is just really old, cheap acrylic paint, nothing special at all. And I'm going to paint this drawer blue, and this drawer blue, and this drawer blue. And you know what?
Let's just do the whole thing blue.
That was overly intense. So here I go. Now, no offense to the ballerina, but I am gonna paint over her because I just want to freshen up the look of this. You know, she was looking a little stale, so I'm gonna try to give this a little bit more life and color. There are a lot of little nooks and crannies to get into. My baby hair. I just used a smaller brush to get in there and like get around the hinges and things like that. You definitely don't want to paint over those. That would be a hot mess. I believe it took about 3 or 4 coats before getting nice even coverage. I'm not bothering to paint the very inside, but I did paint everything that's going to be visible, even the back. You can't neglect your backside. That's nasty. Take care of that. What am I even talking about right now? Remember these little fellows? I'm not really digging this fleshy pink color, although it's kind of the same color that I'm wearing on my nails. Anyway, I'm gonna paint these a nice bright white to go better with the blue. There we go. So we've got a solid blue color over everything. It's nice. Why am I brushing it off so much? Okay, I do want to add a little something to this. So I'm sketching out some little clouds because I'm going to make this a sky theme. Let me throw the handles back on there, and I'm actually going to glue them in so that they don't come out so easily. And now I'm going to actually paint on the clouds. I honestly agonized over what design to do on the outside. Like, I had some crazy ideas. I was going to go super detailed at first, but then I decided to do something pretty simple and clean for the outside and then go a little crazy on the inside, but you'll see that later. As I was neatening up these clouds, they did get a little tiny bit blobby. Like, I could have defined them a little bit better, but it's okay. They're still cute. Now that I've got the outside under control, I'm gonna turn my attention to the inside. I'm pulling out my cutting mat and some Bristol paper, and I'm using those old crusty drawer inserts, and I'm gonna use them as a template for my new drawer inserts. So I'm tracing around them, marking where the crease should be, and then using a ruler and back at it again with my box cutter, cutting these out. If you do this, be careful. Once they're free, I'm going to try them on, or try them in. I don't know. And make sure that they fit correctly, trim them if needed, and that looks fine. Yeah. Sure. So I'm gonna use some red ribbon, well, maybe red and orange. Ooh, and yellow. Okay, fine. I'm doing the rainbow, okay? It's been a solid 3 weeks since my last rainbow themed something, so it's time. Starting with red, I'm cutting a little piece of ribbon, then taking some tacky glue and painting that on the back, sticking it to my little paper insert, and gluing down the edge like so. Lovely. And I'm just gonna continue that down, following the order of the rainbow. I'm not gonna put a full rainbow on every piece because I didn't want the stripes to be super thin. So the rainbow will start on one piece and then continue onto the next, and once it ends, it just starts over again. Do you know what I'm saying here? Okay, good. Here is how the finished insert looks. You see how that continues? Yes, 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 yes. Now I'm just gonna hot glue those inside the drawer as neatly as possible. And you know, I think I definitely should have cut the Bristol a tiny bit smaller because it's a little crammed in there and they are kind of like peeking up over the top a little bit, so that's not perfect, but hey, it still looks all right. But I'm just getting started because I still have the other 2 drawers to do, so I had to do the whole process over again with the cutting and the gluing and the sticking and the cutting and the gluing and the sticking, and bam, here they are. And guess what? I messed up on one of them and made the order of the colors all types of wonky. I don't know. But I didn't know if I was gonna have enough ribbon to redo it, so I just had to go with it. But yeah, this drawer turned out pretty well, and this one, on the other hand, it's the special drawer. So let's move on to the main part of the jewelry box. If you haven't already put this together, the outside of the box is the sky, and the inside is rainbow. So it's like rainbow in the sky. You see what I did there? Yeah. And you know, I'm aware that this would have been a lot easier easier and probably neater if I just used like solid pieces of fabric instead of using ribbons, but I couldn't find any material that looked like this anywhere, so I just had to kind of create it myself. So now let's glue these babies in. So the green ribbon is kind of like overhanging the Bristol board, so I put tacky glue on that and then hot glue on the main part, but when I tried to stick it in there, it got stuck in the wrong spot, and I had to rip it off, peel off all that hot glue. Round 2, I just applied the tacky glue only, crammed that into the corner, and then I went in with the hot glue after that was already in place. That worked out much better. So I did the same on the other side. So cool, we're doing well now. And now for the back wall, and yep, I definitely almost put that in the wrong way. And finally, the piece for the floor, which you really can't see because my head is in the way. That's kind of nice right there. So final touch, I'm gonna add some Liquitex varnish to protect the paint, give it a little shine, and once that dries, I'm just gonna slide in those drawers and we are good to go. So we went from this to this. Oh, I like that transition. The original jewelry box was quite old and used, and I think it's really been freshened up. No more sad ballerina. No more crusty mirror. No more crusty crab. Although I kind of missed that just a little bit. So yeah, I'm quite happy with how this came out. I love that it's like a nice, clean, simple sky on the outside, and then the inside is like a big rainbow explosion, you know? It's a simple design, but there were so many steps before this all came together. Many bumps along the way, but I mean, since when do I make videos where everything goes perfectly? Never. I don't really know what I'm gonna put in this or how I'm gonna use this, because it's not really good for jewelry anymore, so yeah, that's interesting. But anyway, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. I would love to do more thrift store makeovers in the future, and I will see you next week. Bye!